Good evening, teachers. It's been a great privilege to be a part of this webinar again one more time. And this is a series of webinars that we are conducting under the name Dealing with the Global Experiment. And today's webinar would be on how do you be efficient in your workplace. So before we get into the actual session, let me just introduce myself and also the organization of the company that I'm from. I'm Sharon and I work with Techno School as a technical trainer. And Techno School, we provide computer education solution for schools, starting from across all boards and for all sessions, all grades. And here are a few general instructions before we get into the session exactly. Do stay muted throughout the session. And if there is any discrepancies in connecting back, if at all you get out of the session and you're not able to get back, do contact these numbers on your phone and they'll be able to assist you with, correct? And there will be a question answer session at the end of the talk by the speaker. And you can post your questions in Zoom. If you are connected with Zoom, you can post your questions in the chat box. If you are connected with us through YouTube, you can post the questions in the comment section. Do mention @ so that you can pick and choose, or we will be aware that it is a question to be asked to the speaker. All right. As I was telling you, Techno School will provide ICT education solutions, and we are in the market for more than 15 years, and these are our happy milestones. So our presence is felt in India and as well as in the states of UAE. If you want to know more about Techno School, if you want to keep in touch with us, these are our social media handles to which you can connect. And as I told you, this is a series of webinar under the name Dealing with a Global Experiment. And if you are interested in listening to the previous sessions, like say learn about experiential learning or get to know tools, that online tools that will be effective in taking a class online, how to manage your students online, how to gamify, how do you gamify a class. These were all few example of topics that we discussed in the past, and there are also topics on psychology, student psychology of the primary students, and psychology of students above primary, and how is the psychology during the lockdown, and how can we as teachers address to the students if there is a need. So these are all the topics that you will find in our previous webinars, and if you subscribe to our YouTube channel Techno School, you will be able to view them. And today's session, how do you be effective in your workplace, is the session. And I extremely am glad to introduce the speaker to you. And she is not a new face; she has been the speaker in the past, and we have called her again, taking into consideration her reputation and also the efficiency at which she was able to handle the session. So I extremely am glad to introduce the speaker of the day, Mrs. Thenmozhi, Mercy Thenmozhi, to you. Ma'am, I hand over the session to you.
Yes, Sharon,
I can hear you now.
are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear, but I don't see a vision. There is no
Yes.
video.
Yes.
You just please should bear with us. I think there is a technical difficulties in connecting the visual, but we can hear ma'am though. Do bear with us. We will rectify this.
Shall I start? Shall I start?
Yes, please, ma'am. I can see
Yes.
you now.
Okay. Good evening to one and all present over here. Indeed, it is a privilege to me to have you all as my listeners to listen my address today. Thank you, Sharon, for your warm welcome also. Dear participants, most of the series of lectures you have heard on ICTC tools, teaching and learning methodologies, online classes, and something next to the technology. So, as a change, today I have chosen the topic work culture and workmanship. Generally, nowadays, often we hear a complaint from all our colleague friends and all other what even from the household workers, all of them are complaining of one thing, that is work pressure. All are suffering with work pressure. They are treating work as burden and pressure, but work is actually supposed to be pleasure to us. Why it has become burden to us? Because we are not following the appropriate work culture in our work spot or in our home also. So since because of the lack of following this work culture, work become pressure or work become burden instead of it is pleasure. So we require an appropriate work culture in our workplace or wherever we are, that it transform the work burden or work pressure as pleasure, work pleasure. So for our pleasure only there is the work. So all is only the perception, how we are viewing the work. As a pressure we are looking, definitely it will be a pressure only. If you are viewing or if your perception about work is a different one, it will be really a pleasure. So we have to try, because the prime hours, 24 hours, we are doing so many other works. Then 8 hours we are spending in sleeping, and rest of the work mechanically we are doing some of the works at home. The prime hours of a day we are spending in the workplace. So that prime hour is very much important, and the pleasure or the pressure what we are undergoing, that will definitely reflect in the rest of the water places. So we must follow a definite work culture or appropriate proper work culture that is necessary for workmanship. Okay, workmanship actually giving a pleasure to us, that encourages and appreciates us. Okay, so what sort of work culture we have to follow? Our perception on work is to be definitely to be changed. That's only we are going to change. Okay, so everyone of us have different notions about work. Okay, somebody will be thinking that it as a duty, someone will thinking that it as a what burden, someone thinking that it is mandatory, someone thinking that it is a fate. So everyone has a different notions about work. Many times we think the work culture is the culture exclusively for workers. In our society, we consider few people as workers. So in our social structure also, there are the what is priestly class, royalty class, traders, and finally we are pushing the workers to the low class. We are thinking that the work is for exclusively meant for certain group of people. They are identified as workers, but it is not. It is a culture of mankind. So I wanted to what record it here. It is all have the right perception about work. What is that? It is work is the culture of mankind in which there is no difference. It is a human culture. We are not made, sorry, we are made to do work. So what is a business I have here? To work. What is a business I have in this planet or in this earth? To work. Other than that, there is no purpose. So the first man, Adam, in the Garden of Eden, he was given work in that garden and he was asked to take care of it. So the cultivation or digging the what earth all have started from the first man itself. So the work is the culture of mankind. It is not the culture of any of the particular group of people. So this is the introduction I wanted to give to you. Okay, what is work? Work is God given. God given, I mean that I am not insisting that any theological idea here, but even before me, okay, there is an instinct which is inbuilt in me to do work. Okay, so that only I called it that is a God given. So work is not given by any boss or any of the other persons or any superior. Any work, whatever it has given to me is a God given, we have to be considered. Then it is a divine ordained. So we have to take in such a way that it is a work I have got from the supreme being. Then it is mandatory. If I consider that I should not have any work in this world, so it is what it is a wrong idea. So it is mandatory. Nobody can be free from work. So work is God given, divine ordained. It is mandatory. We have many wrong notions about work. Okay, so that are all to be what cleared. So what are all the general wrong notions about work with us is one is what we are thinking, I am working for others. Whenever I am working in the office, I'll be thinking I am working for the students. I am working for the administrators. I am working for the principal. Like that, if I work in the home also, I'll be thinking that I am working for the children. I am working for the what husband. Like that, always we are thinking that we are working for others. So that itself is giving a burden in our thought as well as in our what mind. The next is some of the people thought that working for wages. We consider that we have to get some money. I require what wages for that I am working. So that is also a wrong attitude. And some people are working for what? Work for popularity. I wanted to become a very popular person. So always struggling, 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 doing so much of work. And either way, this way or that way, they wanted to become very popular. So they are working for popularity. That is also a wrong. Then work for privileges. Some of the people really working by impressing the others and by which they wanted to enjoy so many privileges. If I work more in front of my boss, then or my principal, I will be getting some privileges. Okay, I will be working 1 hour extra for the principal. The next day I can get the concession of off or the leave. So like that we are thinking working for privileges. Then some people are working for power. So we have to come as a superior authority to be gained. So we are working for gaining power. So these are all wrong notions. When we are working on this mindset, really work will be burden. When I am working for thinking that I am working for others, when I am working for wages, when my work is for popularity, when my work is for getting some privileges, if really I'm working for power, that gives so much of stress and also it gives so much of burden and pressure to us. So these are all some of the wrong notions about the work. So here it is explained very detailedly that I am working for others. Many thought that they have been working for the good of others, toiling for children, family, society. Everybody will be telling, I am working for others. Then the thought and the attitude make one feel self-pity. Okay, always we will be feeling sorry for us. I am exploited. I am working for others. And that spoil the relationship between the recipients and the what of that work. We will be considering the people, those, if we consider that I am working for others, we will be considering the recipients as enemies or we will be having the bitter relationship with them. We count them as exploiters. I only exploited. Like that, we will be thinking. Then subsequently, it affects the relationship and cordiality. When I thought that my boss is extracting so much of work because of I am in work pressure, that affects the relationship and cordiality between me and my boss. Then ultimate result is restlessness and defective work. We will all be also restless and the work will be also defective. And also it will spoil the inward structure of the work spot. Okay. So the inverse structure, there will be hatred, there will be a bitterness, there will be a depression. So that will spoil the inward structure of work structure. Then, and this wrong notion is to be noted as on when it occurs. Okay. Then the next problem is working for wages. Another wrong notion is that Work for wages in idea of material. So here it is very important. Work for wages is an idea of the materialist. We are not merely a what economical being. We are social being. We are we are biological, social, what is we are what is that we are psychological, we are emotional, we are spiritual. So all the things makes as a component of a human being. So materialism, it is only addressing the economical condition. So always we cannot give work for wages, work to earn money, earn money, this work, that work, parallel work, principal work. Like that, so many catalogs we are having, and working means that causes so much of tension and pressure to us that makes us more materialist. But it is a wrong notion that would spoil the holistic purpose of work. Okay. Our emotional is to be monitored, our psychological things to be fed, and our spiritual things to be what addressed. So man is a component of all these things. So we have to view work is in different perceptions: a sociological perception, psychological, political, and spiritual too. So then only the work culture will be holistic. Okay. Then next thing is the socialistic perception of work is for the good of others. Okay. So the socialistic perception of work is good of others means it is a psychotic what purpose. So always having the good feeling. Okay. It is good of the others. Instead of considering that it is I am doing for others, we have to consider that it is good of the others. Okay. So it gives satisfaction to us. Then we will be not feeling what is bad, but we will feeling good within us. Next is the political perception as fulfillment of the civic obligations. We do not know whatever the work I am doing in the house also, whatever the work I am doing in the work spot also, I am fulfilling the civic obligations. Otherwise, I will be a burden to the state only. Okay. So the political perception also completing in that. Then spiritual perception. So whatever I do, that must what glorify what God, or that must be good. That must be what according to the what justice. So like that we will be thinking. So that gives enormous happiness to us. Okay, that must be very much essential. What meeting the spiritual perception in our what work. Then work for wages is always secondary, and this notion is to be dealt with. Then work for popularity and privilege and power also wrong what notions. Then what is the right notion? So these are all the wrong notions. Work for others, work for the what society, or these are all the wrong notions. What is the right notion about the work? One, I am working for myself. So this is the very, very important thing. Okay. Dear audience, are you all after me? Hello, participants?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, good. So what is the right perception about the work? Always, whatever you do, okay, you have the you have the perception that I am working for myself. Whatever the work, even I'll be telling, if you are giving alms to the beggar, okay, little what money to the beggar, that also you are not doing for the sake of the beggar. That also you are not doing the good of the beggar, but yourself. When you happen to see a beggar, you drop few coins in his bowl means with okay, it is you are giving for yourself. How means if you are not giving, that person will not be affected. If you are not giving, some others are going to give. Then if you are not giving, what you will be feeling? You feel guilt. Then thereafter you would have been thought that poor man, unprivileged, I would have been given little. How much lavishly I am spending. So he will not be, the beggar will not be thinking all that, but you will be thinking that. That disturbs you. That makes you to feel guilt. So I am extending something to the poor also, not actually 100% for the sake of the poor, but I am doing for myself, my satisfaction, my happiness. I have to be free from guilt. For that sake, I am giving. So, like that, every work in teaching in the school, something we are what doing in the administration, or whatever the work we are doing, we have the idea that I am working for myself, not for others. Okay. So when you are thinking we are doing something for always others means you would have thought that others are exploiting you. So I am doing the work for myself. So that is a right perception. And number two is work is an opportunity. Okay, we should not consider that work is what for exploiting me. But work is an opportunity. Whenever we get the work, we are getting a good opportunity for us. Okay, when we consider that it is an opportunity, really it will not be a what pressure to us. Then passion for faithfulness. Why work has become very burden means because in the work we have no passion for faithfulness. We wanted to show something very attractively, but actually there is no faithfulness. What's supposed to be done is not done over there. So this is the problem. So the right notion about the work is passion for faithfulness. It is not necessarily to be successful, but we must be faithful. So that is to be the principle of the work culture. I'll be telling again that in the work spot, many times we wanted to succeed something and we wanted to do excess. We wanted to exceed somebody, always putting someone as a target. We wanted to exceed that person. But that is not necessary. What is necessary? What gives satisfaction? What gives peace? What gives joy? What gives really work satisfaction? And give all rest in the body and the mind is that it is not necessarily to be successful, but necessary to be faithful. If you follow this simple principle, definitely we will be relieved from the work pressure. Then I am working for myself. I am working for my own sake, for my dignity and for my honor. If I am not doing this work, my my image will get spoiled. So that idea only have to be dominated. So for what? Protecting my dignity, to elevating my position. So I will be doing this work. So I am working for my own sake, for my dignity and for my honor. Whatever the work, either teaching or taking this webinar, this what techno school has given to me, so I have to do. It is not necessary to me. Why you they have given? I have so much other work. They are not understanding us. So not these complaints are required. I have to take up that. I am working for my own sake, for my dignity and for my honor. Next, I am working for the good of myself. If I do it, it will be good for me. If I am not doing, it will be bad for me. So in that sense, it is to be taken. Work is mandatory and escaping from work is an offense. We must have that what idea that escaping from work is an offense. Have you ever thought that escaping from work is an offense? We will not be. We will be telling so many excuses for our work, simply comparing with others. Others are not doing, I will not be also doing. Why I have to do? So this is the always we are lamenting and murmuring in the work spot. Accountability is purely personal. I am not, I don't think that I am accountable to the principal. I am accountable to the headmaster. I am accountable to the sister or father. Accountability is purely personal. At the end of the day, I am accountable to myself. If I am not accepted, my person is not accepted what the work I have done, nobody can what do anything for it. Okay, the reward, the work satisfaction, the joy I have, okay, it is exclusive. One should believe that no one has share in the joy of my work. When I am doing work with the right what perception, I am doing for myself, my goodness, I am accountable to myself. Okay, whether others are seeing or not, that does not matter to me. So when you are doing with the right perception of the work, what the joy you are getting, nobody has the share in it. If others know, they will be envy of you. Okay, work is an opportunity. I told work is not a dreadful challenge. We are always considering that work is a dreadful challenge. No, it is a what opportunity. It is peace loving opportunity. So through work only we could gain force, how we will be seeing later also. Work is to be considered as an avenue for my holistic development. Okay, what is holistic development? What we are very complicated people. Complicated means we are biological, we are social, we are psychological, emotional, ethical, spiritual, moral. So many components are there. So work is the avenue, work is the way through which we could develop holistically. Complete development is possible only through the work. So it gives opportunity again to develop our skill. So without a work, whatever the skill you have, you cannot what develop it. So work is an opportunity to develop our skill, personality, social commitments, and to earn for my livelihood. So all these things are associating only in the work. Such a work, we should not consider that it as a burden to us. Then no one should determine to do his work wholeheartedly and what thoughtfully. Okay, one should determine I will be doing that work wholeheartedly and thoughtfully. Have you ever doing all these works for the sake of doing? So many times we are doing, okay? For the sake, so it is to be done. I cannot do anything much. Okay, it is okay. This is more than enough to this institution. That student doesn't know anything. This is enough for him. Let him get the things from the parents, or let him get the things from the friends. I cannot toil myself. So that gave much pressure to us rather the work. The perception of work is giving joy or what, sorrow to us. So what the idea we should have that determined to do this work wholeheartedly and thoughtfully. Any of the work, it is to be done wholeheartedly and thoughtfully. That's what the King Solomon says. He was a great wise man. What he is telling is, whatever your hand finds to do it with all your might. Do it all what with your energy. A simple work or a what bigger one. Whatever your hand finds to do it with all your might. Then passion for faithfulness. One should have passion for faithfulness in his work, because whatever the work we are working, it is a gain. It is to gain guilt-free conscience. Okay, if you are doing your work faithfully, you will be getting the guilt-free conscience. So guilt-free conscience is the best gift and the peace all must have be enjoyed. But we are losing it very often, but it is to be gained through faithfulness. This makes us conscious of faithfulness in our work. When we are accountable to ourselves, we thought that automatically we will be conscious of faithfulness. One should avoid all sorts of shameful license. What is that? Crooked methods. That is only shameful license of any form of irresponsible self-indulgence. Okay, overlooking, manipulating, strategies following, diplomacy, what doing, cheating, deceptions. So all such irresponsible self-indulgence cause for what spoiling our what guilt-free conscience. Then passion for faithfulness of one becomes transforming cultural force. Okay, so what is that transforming cultural forces? Passion for faithfulness. When you have really desire for faithfulness, that will transforming your cultural force in our work sport. Then continuation of that is coming. It is our business to persist faithfully in our role in this world as salt. So we must be tasty, and we must be what is showing light to the what others. Others, we must be always in demand. That's what. Wherever we are, at home, in the among the friends, in the work spot, if you are faithful, you will be in greater demand, because you are a tasty person. All others wanted to, while that itself gives a great joy to us. Okay. Others, when we are in greater demand, all are asking you, all are inquiring about you, all wants you, then that itself gives you a greater joy. That is the actual word, joy of work. Then importance of the work. Once we understand the importance of the work, we will be always getting the right notion about the work. First is, man is a sub-creator and the creator. I believe that the world is, or this universe is created by a creator. So that creator made every man as a sub-creator. Okay, for example, the creator created a sun. Okay, generating solar energy is what? invented by man. So automatically the man becomes a sub-creator to the creator. So this is the business we have in this planet. Okay. Work makes life alive. So you remember that how we are living a life, alive life. Otherwise, it will be mere existing. If there is no work, our life is mere existing. Okay, if a person is in a coma stage, taking rest for what days together would be considered that it is a life that is mere existing. The life is there, but there is no function. Okay, so what actually makes us to live is that works only. So man is a sub-creator under the creator. Don't think that you are a worker, you are a sub-creator. Then sub-creator means discovering the plan, pattern, and purpose behind the creation and utilizing it promptly, continuously, and innovatively as per the demands of different emerging dispensation and the situation. So sub-creator, I told, what is a plan, pattern, how this earth is spherical, what is the plan behind it? So discovering it. Okay, and pattern, what is pattern it is? Okay, for example, how fish is swimming, the man is study the pattern of it and build the ship. Then study the pattern of birds, he built the what aeroplane. So in this way he is what inventing so many things. The what is the purpose behind it, mechanism behind it. So the studied so many things from the creation, and he became the what sub creator. So you remember that we are also the creators under the what uh, under, we are the sub creators under the creator. Okay, so whatever the work we do, there must be a creativeness in which it is to be. Then with wisdom and knowledge he brought the variety of gardens. Okay, God gave one garden, man what make it that it has a different forms. Previously in the gardening, then cultivation, then industries, then technologies. So according to the requirement of the situations and the dispensations, man is inventing so many things continually. So that's what the life in the mankind in the planet is continuing. Okay. So it shows man's creativity in the profession. This creativity makes man as a sub-creator. So whatever the work you do, there will be creativity in it. Then core of our work course. Okay, in the core. So whatever the work I am doing, teaching. So what are all to be there in it? Creativity is to be there. Innovativeness is to be there. Then bringing effective difference from the previous one. So these three things are the real substances of making you as a sub-creator. Okay. Whatever the work, even for washing, there should be a creativity, innovativeness. What, how can we wash thoroughly? How can we wash swiftly? How can we wash effectively? So every simple work, cleaning also. So later you can commercialize also with your creativity and innovativeness. So in the every work, whatever I do, there must be an effective difference between my work and the previous work. And what is the work I have done yesterday, the today's work must have a definite difference. There must be an improvement in it, not what degeneration, but there will be a progress. Definite constructive progress is to be there. Okay, so these three are the substances and making you as a creator from the status of a worker. So we are starting that the place or the point of worker, but these three substances making you as a creator. So when you are creating something newly, when you are innovatively doing, you are making a difference from your work every day in a progressive manner. That gives enormous pleasure, that suppress all our pressures and the what burden of work. Then work makes us alive. I told, work is the driving force for our existence in the world. Every day, don't forget it. That is, it is a driving force. Otherwise, if there is no work, there is a no drive at all. We will become very idle. We will become what? No meaning in this life. Every day, something is pushing us to live in this world means that is work only. Okay, so when we would have understand the importance of the work means during the time when we have no work. Okay, so that will spoil the body, that will spoil the mind, the worklessness. Okay, we can be exist without reward, but we cannot live without what? Work. So work is getting more importance than the reward. So here it is, the very important point is work is a driving force. The much work you are having means much drive will be there. Okay, then this drive is essential, and the man who has this drive is a blessed man. Otherwise, life become meaningless and dismayed. The Creator in His wisdom gave this drive within every man and makes his life meaningful and significant. When this drive is more within us, will be greater in demand. Okay, earlier also I told, we must be greater in demand wherever we are. When you are working, your name is suggested for something, oh, this fellow is good for nothing. Would you like how much depression you will be getting? Okay, so how much you will be what offended because of that. When your name is suggesting for some work, oh, all we will tell is that person is definitely we needed. Then when your demand is increasing in a particular place, definitely you will be getting the work satisfaction and the pleasure, and work will not be burden to you. When this drive is more within us, we will be great in demand. The drive earns self-respect. Okay, when the work is a drive, that drive gives self-respect. The people, those who will not what respected, the people, those who are not working. Okay, so the work drive earns self-respect, dignity, and honor automatically. You need not to go after it. You need not to go after and demand for your dignity. You need not to take any extra effort for your self-respect. If somebody is humiliating me, somebody is degrading me, somebody is not honoring me. So all that will be automatically come when you have more drive for work. So the pleasure of this drive makes one's life alive. Okay. Then attractions of work. We must know the attractions of the work also. First is the workmanship. Okay. The workmanship is that the degree and the value of the perfection in the work. How much your work is worthy. Okay. So the worthiness of your work decides the workmanship. Okay. The wisdom, knowledge, sincerity, generosity, persistence, patience, thoughtfulness, love, and concern. So all these ingredients are there to make gives you the workmanship. Okay. For example, you are chosen for some work. What is that work? Uh, the work of what in your schools or the colleges, principal is assigning the work of examination duty to us. Okay. So in the examination duty, what gives you the workmanship? You are in the examination committee. Okay, what gives you the workmanship in doing the work of this examination means you must have work with wisdom, knowledge, sincere, generosity. There must be a continuous persistence, patience, thoughtfulness, love, and concern. If you are doing your work with all these 9 ingredients, definitely the workmanship will be what seen there. Who have done this work? It is completely, it is what perfect. This person will be in greater demand. Okay, so these are all the virtues indispensably need for water, need for making the making your work the water with workmanship. Okay, so we require whatever the work we do, if anything is absent there, it will spoil the workmanship of our work. Okay, so wisdom we require, knowledge, sincerity, generosity, persistence, patience, thoughtfulness, love, and concern. Okay, finding joy at work. I saw that there is nothing better for a man than to enjoy his work because that is his lot. Okay. So this was said by King Solomon. What is he telling? He saw that there is nothing better than in this planet than to enjoy his work. Okay, because that is his lot. Here the what here there is a scripture commands us to what enjoy our work. Wage for workers is the ideology of the communists we are thinking. Okay, generally the communist people, most of the workers are in the communist party. For the welfare of the workers only, the communist party have emerged. That says wage is the result of the work. But humanistic way, what we are thinking is that enjoying the work. Okay, what we are expecting, not only wage is a part, but it is not a complete joy. Okay, salary is our target or joy is our target. Salary is a part. 100% we are working not for money, but for our joy. If joy is missing, only money is there, it is not at all a word. It will definitely a pressure. It will be definitely a burden only. Okay. So communist idea is wage for workers, but humanistic idea is joy for workers. Okay. Duty and delight cannot be separated. Duty and delight. Wherever we are truthful in our duty, definitely delight will be there. Then skill and the work. Okay. Actually, work gives an opportunity to discover the skill I already told. So we are discovering our skills and potentials. Then skill is given for the purpose of personal perfection. So that is also one of the things we have to understand. Skill is not for exhibiting to others and becoming famous. Okay, skill is given for the purpose of personal perfection. I have, with that skill, I have to perfect myself and develop it and and what exhibit it, not for competition and comparison. So in this only manipulation has come. Okay, I have to develop my skill that must be useful for others. It is not completely for competition and comparison. When I developed a skill, I will compare with a same skilled person, whether he is better or me is better. Then all sort of vices would have been dominated in our mind, and that will spoil the joy of work. Okay, so we have to discover our skill, practice it, and apply it appropriately in our work. Steadfastness is very much essential in operation of our skills. So steadfastness, always we must be very steadfast. If we are thinking that nobody is beyond me, I can supersede anybody, I am of all, you have thought that the very thought itself what kills your skill. So steadfastness is very much essential in the operation of our skills. Okay. Then skills are to be regularized with certain stipulations. Genuine usage is monitored. Yes, somebody is what got what is Olympic prize winner in shooting. Can she or he utilize that in the what society? I am the first prize winner in shooting. Can that be used in the what among the mob? No, that is different. So our genuine usage is to be monitored. So there are so many medicines, vaccines people are inventing. So genuine usage to be monitored by us. What for? Okay. The anesthetist who is using the anesthetics medicine there, it is to be genuine use is to be monitored for our wrongs and for what intentionally it should not be used. Okay, in any of the field, okay, our skills are to be utilized for the constructive purposes. Skill never causes for the entry of pride and to depreciation of other work. Okay, when we are having a skill, we will be what is deeming the other people, depreciating, then considering the other people as lower than us. So that is also should not be. That affects our what work satisfaction, work joy. That causes or that makes works burden to us. Okay. Then we generally know that there are dual works. What are all the dual works means? We have mental work as well as the what physical work. Okay, so in which there is no difference. The physical work and the mental work, both of them has to go hand in hand. Okay, so the main work will be there. If your main work is a physical work, then the mental work is to be your refreshment. Then if your mental work is your main work, then physical work is to be a refreshment. So there is no difference. So Generally in the society, the people will be making difference between the mental work and the physical work, but we are not bothering about that structure and the what outcome of all that. But for a person, okay, for an individual, if your main work is mental work, make the physical work as a recreation. If your main work is a physical work, you have to make the mental work as a what recreation. A person is a gardener, recreation may be reading, or what some other what watching the television, or reading the story or newspaper. But if the person's work is a mental work, teacher always what working with the books and all that, you need a physical work. Okay, so these two has to go hand in hand. Then odds and obstacles in work. Odds and obstacles in work is self-will or self-reliance. This is a shock to you. Always you are taught that always we must have a strong self-will. No, self-will and self-reliance, because self-will is what limited. I will excesses to these two things are. Self-will is always limited. I am limited. If I am a history teacher means out of my domain, I am limited. I do not know anything. I am weak there. So we must understand that. Okay. When we are thinking that we are knowing everything, that itself is an obstacle for our work. So we have to rely upon others. So work spot and also in our life, it is a relay race. One is relying on others. There is a proper, appropriate coordination is required. I should not think that the self is all. Self is limited. Here the weak, the word is used. It is, we need not to use the word weak, but it is limited. Okay. We must know to grace others. What is gracing others? We must respect and please to get the cooperation of others. Many times we fail to do so. We are very much feeling shameful unnecessarily to getting the help from others. Consulting, and we often what is it is unacceptable to us to say that I do not know. I want it. So it is all very common. We must know to grace others by getting the help from others because self is limited. Then excess. So excess is unrealistic. It is not, it is good not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think. Okay, this is always we must know our height. How much I can do. For popularity, for gaining something, I will do this work, I will do that work. So pulling all work, then not doing anything, and what making all manipulations and giving wrong, what is false excuses and accusing others should not be. Okay. Then we must always be aware of our own height and be watchful to do the duty duly. So some people will not do the due, but they will do something excess. If my work is teaching, working hours is between 9:30 and 4:30, then I will be in the college, outside the college hours, 4:30 to 6:30, and doing some other work. And as if I am showing that I am working, what is extra, where what others are not doing. So these are all should not be. Okay, that is not a what yeah, good work culture. We must do the do. Teaching is my due means I have to do it. In which there is no escapism. I am doing the other work, so I will be skipping my class. So such culture should not be developed. I must do my due. Okay. So not unduly or excessively. That is our all depends upon our potential and caliber. So first thing we must do our due. If you are not able to do the excess, you leave it and set right all your things comfortably. Then other odds and obstacles are here. So many things: sectional selfishness, textual exploitation, factual exploitation, professional exploitation, utopian unrealism, crushing collectivism. So these are all the other what things. Okay, when we are doing excess, we will be indulging in all such things. Sectional what is selfishness. There will be a color. We will be giving what we are, whom we are. There is a what sectionalism. We will be bringing textual exploitation. Right, we will be what making the exploitation of others, factual exploitation, professional exploitation, utopian unrealism. Okay, we will be talking something which is not realistic. Then there is a collectivism, group behavior. So all this will be coming, and the main course will be what? Spoiled. So these are all the what odds and other obstacles of our work. Okay, work ethics. We have come to the end, I think. So the work is divine, all right. This work would require constant thought and effort. The work would require constant thought. So uh, I will not be thinking anything about my school or the college when I enter into the gate. After going there, only what I have to do, what is the lesson I have to do, which class I have. So there are so much of confusion. No, it should not be. This work would require constant thought and effort because we are stewards of this creation, but not owners. Okay, so we are not owners. Many times we will be thinking that we are going to be here forever. We are the owner of everything. Okay, not like that. The responsibility. Steward means responsible workers. Okay, we are all responsible for all that. Okay, 60 children or what people are given under your hand. You are responsible for them. Okay, so if any would not work, neither should he eat. If you have not like to do work, there is a principle. It is telling that you should not eat also. If we follow literally this principle, definitely our work culture will be what? Changing. Thank you. Okay. So you should have a right perception about the work that will make work as a work not as a burden but as a pleasure. Okay. If you have any queries, wanted to what interact with me, you can what post your questions.
Thank you, ma'am, for that talk. And I hope and I wish, and there'll be a lot of takeaways from the talk that you gave us. Like, I work for myself, and if I get an opportunity to work on anything, I grab hold of the opportunity. And whatever the work that I do, I'll have to do with a little creativity, and there should be innovativeness. Doesn't matter how big or small the work that we do, there should be a lot of creativity and innovativeness. And I should also do it with passion and a little faithfulness, not little bit more, more than what we're supposed to do. There should be faithfulness. And I hope there'll be a lot of takeaways from the talk that you gave us. Teachers, now we are open for question and answer session. If if at all there are any questions that you have to ask, please do post your questions. If you're connected with us in the chat in using Zoom, do post your questions in the chat box. If you're connected with us in YouTube, I see there are people watching in YouTube as well. So if you are connected with us through the YouTube, you can post your questions in the comment section. So we'll take a minute or so for you to ask any question. And from the deliverance of speech, I think there won't be any questions. But if there are any, please do post your questions in the chat box and the comment section. Okay. So,
Yes,
yes, ma'am.
participants, do you have any questions? Are you all agreeing with me? Your silence.
I think more than agreeing, they understood everything that you said, and probably they'll take time to ponder upon it, and then they'll come to the
Okay.
conclusion of whether they agree or not.
Okay.
Thank you
Okay.
so much, ma'am, for the clear
Okay.
and
Welcome. Mm.
speech. Teachers, in connection with what ma'am just spoke today, we already had a session on how do you handle the pressure at work. There's also a session on multitasking, which was covered here when ma'am said you should have both. If your work is sedentary work, you should get a, uh, probably an hobby or something that has more of exercise. So if your work has got more of um, hands-on where you get to do a lot of exercise, you also have to have an hobby or a work that is a little sedentary so that you get rest. So, so there is a topic which was spoken by Tonte West on multitasking, and there is also a topic on um, handling the pressure at work. These are the topics that we had very early in the webinars. And if you're interested, you can please go and watch those videos in the YouTube. Again, ma'am, thank you so much for the session. Teachers, that brings
Thank you,
us to
Sharon.
the thanks, ma'am.
Whether participants are listening or not, Sharon is listening and giving the feedback.
uh, so, teachers, that brings us to the very end of the session. So, there will be a link posted. So, if you can fill up the link, you will be getting your participation certificate. And please do give the correct information. I hope the previous certificates were delivered to you. And if there's any discrepancies or trouble, please do um, get to the number that was on screen earlier at the beginning of the session. Do get in touch with the number. We will get things rectified. So I don't, since we are very used to filling this feedback forms and things on, I'm going to take leave from you, but the feed will be on. The link is there on your screen, posted by Techno School Support. Uh, Click on the link and fill in the feedback form. So I will be taking leave from you till we meet the next time, but the link will be on for some time for you to fill in the feedback form. This is Darren, and I take leave.